What's going on, everybody? We're here early, Game Flight Report. Just streaming now ahead of time, so we're going to start probably any minute now. But we made some questions and big stuff.
Probably going to be some big stuff going on, and I promise you I will shut up when they do finally start. While we're waiting, well, my favorite fish is a narwhal. We got a big screen right up here. So when they start doing stuff, the panel should probably be an hour. We got a lot. They're live streaming too. FFG's live streaming. They got a big old crane over there. So there's gonna be some fun stuff. I was a little upset because they let a lot of other people in first. Like, I was pretty early in line, and they let a lot of people skip me in line. I'm not gonna lie. It was a little sad. Like, Tom Vassell got to skip me. I think they think he's bigger than I am, which he actually is in every way that counts. I think he's he's physically enormous. And somebody's mic is, yeah. They let Team Covenant in, of course, and they let a lot of other streamers come in. And I asked if I could come in, and they said no. So they didn't let me in. Am I flying in any of the events? I got a lot of Facebook messages. Unfortunately, I can't respond to all of them. Wow, somebody's shouting. Something crazy is going on. Hey, what's going on? You're live. Hey, what's going on? But, yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're kind of just goofing off until they do start. So, yeah. I also went live so I could rope you guys in. But I've got a battery backup right now. I've got I got a tripod, so it'll be a nice steady shot. And hopefully it'll be a better view than last year. But yeah, let's see who else is here. This is a full house this year. It's a full house. Wow. And whenever they show new stuff too, we'll be able to zoom in. I'll show you how I'm going to operate. Because we're here, we'll be able to see what's on stage. Pretty easy. Then I'll be able to go right up here and then angle up a little bit. And that's a pretty good view of the screen. Let me know if you guys like the view. Are you watching my stream?
Yes.
Oh, wait, let's do an Inception. All right. I'm gonna hold on, we gotta go over. I'm gonna see you on the stream. He's watching my stream. And now, I see myself. Oh my goodness, this is the most bizarre thing ever. It's going down the rabbit hole, man. It's going down the rabbit. All right, let's do it again. Whoa. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry if anybody is having seizures right now. Are you seeing this? No, you can't see it. You can't see it. Here, turn it towards you so you can see it. Hold on, we'll do it one more time. We got a few minutes. They're still seating people, so don't worry, guys. Look. This is crazy. All right, here we go. Whoa. That is so freaky deaky. Oh man. That's pretty wild. That's pretty wild. Yeah. Well, you're having fun, right?
Yep.
It's the night before Gencon, went all through the house. Not an X-Wing was stirring. Not even a mouse droid. I don't know. Bad jokes. Bad jokes. Yeah. Did run into somebody wearing one of my shirts. That was really cool. So that was exciting. Let me see. I missed a lot of the come on, Gauntlet Fighter. What do you guys want to see? I really want... I want them to announce some kind of progress on Clone Wars Armada. I'm definitely expecting we're going to see the new ships 2 new ships for Armada. X-Wing Wave 6. Shore Troopers tomorrow. I don't know. I'm told it'll be unlikely that I'll be able to pick up 3 Clone Wars core sets, so I don't think they have as many as people would like. But we're hoping that they make sure that the Legion players get priority in picking those up. So I think they're going to try and work something like that out. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see how fast certain things kind of sell out. Same thing with Rebellion and the Rim. I don't know if they're going to have a whole bunch. At least that's not something that you're really going to need a lot of, though. So let's see. What do we got? What else can we talk about? I'm sitting right next to a whole bunch of other people. Oh, let me show you guys what I brought. Okay, so I brought an L5R box out here. Now, I don't play L5R. This is an old L5R before FFG bought L5R. I never even opened any of the stuff that was in here. This was an AEG L5R box. But it's the Crab Clan, right? And what else could I have in here than Clone Commander Crabbok with lightsaber nunchucks? This is the one that Mill Miniatures made for April Fool's joke, and that Ken from Master of the Force, or Master of the Fleet, sent out, and yeah, and I'm very much amusing the people sitting next to me, by the way, who have been very, very nice to put up with me sitting here talking. I promise I won't talk during the in-flight report. Yeah. Last year they gave me a hard time. They're like, "You're talking over them," because I was so when they announced the Superstar Destroyer last year. I play Armada very heavily, and I was.
May I see that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's magnetized. Be very. The nunchucks are very delicate.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. I didn't know how I was going to find a way to bring it, and I found this old tin, and I'm like, that's perfect. And I just put an old paint rag in there.
Just keep it locked up. Nice.
And so on Sunday, I'm like demoing Clone Wars Legion, and I'm going to set it on one of the tables and get some action shots of him with the other ones. Yeah. So that will be fun. Oh, we're almost ready. All right.
Scoot towards the middle of your row. Hey, through them on the edges.
If you have an empty seat, raise your hand.
If you are a member of the press and would like to demo the interview afterwards, we'll be going through those doors. Everyone else,
That's me. I have a press pass. You guys want to see my press pass? Check it out. Look what I got. See, I got one of these, but they still wouldn't let me in early. They didn't realize I had a tripod I had to set up. And I've also got lightsaber nunchucks to hand out to folks. It's also my card. Oh, you guys want a card? This is my YouTube channel, and it's got lightsaber nunchucks on the back as well. So yeah, you're very welcome. I'm kind of proud of that one. It's got the whole barcode and everything. I feel in high tech. Yeah, flexing my. All right, but yeah, it's gonna start soon.
I mean, that's pretty much that glitter. Okay, well, I do.
Got that. Yes, we'll be. And I just will let you guys know if for some reason my things cuts out. FFG's also streaming this. We'll see who gets the better. It's their first time doing it, so I don't know if it'll be that good. I technically have twice as much experience in streaming in-flight reports than they do, technically, if we're being technical. And I'm gonna I think I'm gonna leave it there for now. I heard some rumors that there's gonna be some really cool stuff announced, so that's exciting. I would love to see an expansion for Outer Rim. I would really love to see that. Curious if you guys would love to see it. And thanks for all the comments. I'm trying to get to some of them. Hey, Harry Nick, what's going on, man? Thanks. Appreciate you watching. Guys, definitely check out Harry Nick for some of the best X-Wing news. I gotta give credit where credit's due. I wish I had as good X-Wing content as Harry Nick does. All right. Let's see. Why do all convention halls have horrid carpet? I don't know, guys.
Those are not horrid. Those are great.
I think it's, I don't know what it is. It looks like it has eyes, which maybe could scare some people. It might scare some. What do I think of putting weapon and defense liaisons on the SSD? I did see that comment about weapon and defense liaisons. I like to just plan the right commands, but I think slicer tools might be a bigger thing, so I can see at least one of those, like pick the one that you're gonna need and then plan the other one, and then you'll be covered. I don't think you need to have both of them. Starhawk, I hear. Starhawk would be pretty cool. We don't know what it looks like, though. I wonder if anybody knows what it looks like. I've heard some people talk that maybe it would be the Arrestor Cruiser that was originally in Solo, a Star Wars story. Oh my goodness, they're doing, look at that, he's looking at the thing. Look at this dude. Can I zoom in? I can zoom in on the live stream. Oh, look at that, I can get in pretty close there. They're doing a thing where he's gonna be like, hey, we're here with all these folks. But what you don't see is you don't see behind the scenes, which is not really that impressive, I guess. I don't know. I'm gonna zoom out so I get a better shot. There we go. Unless they bring out something to look at, I don't really think I'll need to zoom in. So the audio is unbrilliant. Is my audio bad, or is it FFG's audio that is bad? If any of you guys are watching both. Well, it'll probably depend on how good the mic pickups are and how well they pick that up. Okay, good. I'm glad. Thank you for the feedback. What's going on, Strategic Operative? We're gonna have to do some crazy battles maybe later on this month. This is, some of you asked about, are we gonna see the 2 new ships? This is where the 2 new ships are supposed to be announced. I don't know if they're gonna talk about Clone Wars Armada, though. I will definitely ask if they don't. I'll have some kind of Armada-based questions, I'm sure. Maybe about support for existing factions, like if going forward with Clone Wars, will they still also release, Rebellion and Imperial ships, or are they going to only focus on Clone Wars, or maybe will it be a core set, or will it be like X-Wing where they just release ships kind of a la carte, or will we, one question I really like is, based on the success or based on the learning, what they've learned from the SSD. Has that impacted their ability to create more huge ships? Is that, are they gonna be able to do more ships in that size range? But not just for Armada, but for perhaps X-Wing as well. Things like that. All right. Wow. All right, so yeah, we're just hanging out, and I will be bringing to you guys all the weekend. We'll be trying to get up as much content as I can. Well, I am streaming from my phone, and it is an iPhone X. Like, it's just a new iPhone, to be fair. I can't expect a Fantasy Flight to have a new iPhone. They're saying my stream is better than Fantasy Flight's stream right now. So, that's what they're saying. I don't know. I'm not watching. But I don't think they want to hear that. That's probably why they don't let me in. Oh, they do. They're moving the crane. You want to see them moving the crane around? Look. I'm going to pick this up a little bit. Let's walk around a little bit. There they're moving the crane around. Oh, all right, we're getting started. We're getting started, guys.
room. My goodness. I'm Andrew Navarro, head of Fantasy Flight Game Studio. Welcome to Gencon, and welcome to the 2019 In-Flight Report. Thank you all so much for being with us here this evening and for spending your time with us. This is easily my favorite part of the show, being able to see all of you, our fans, and being able to see all your smiling faces. I was a little bit worried last year, it was very dark. I can actually see everybody, so maybe a little bit terrifying than last year, but it's all right. So, everyone at FFG works extremely hard to bring you what we hope are the best, most thematic games on the planet. And it's your continued support that makes what we do possible. So on behalf of myself, the staff here at Gencon, and everyone back at Roseville, just want to say thank you for all your continued support and encouragement. We appreciate each and every one of you, so thank you so much. So it's already been a pretty cool year for us. So we have a lot of cool stuff to show to you tonight. Hopefully, earlier this year, you've had a chance to check out Lord of the Rings, Journeys to Middle-earth, our new app-integrated board game. Awesome. And Star Wars Outer Rim, our new adventure game inside of the Fringes of the Galaxy. So tonight we'll be mostly focusing on new products and expansions that'll be coming out near the end of the year and into early 2020. But as always, know that there's a lot more going on than what we show here in this presentation. The best place to keep an eye on all of our products, obviously, is our website. And for those of you who don't know, maybe you saw Evan out here earlier doing a little introduction with his back to you. We are doing regular live streams now every Tuesday and Thursday on our Twitch and YouTube channels. It's an awesome place to see us play new and upcoming games, and it gives you an opportunity to interact through the chat with developers and other FFG staff. So hopefully you get a chance to catch that live. If you don't, all of those videos are archived on our YouTube channel. So if you miss anything during the week, like, hey, you might be working and responsible and not streaming content at your desk, I wouldn't know anything about that. So if you miss it, you can always check it out later. So speaking of videos, let's get started with our first new game announcement of the night.
All right.
Arkham Horror Final Hour is our latest entry in the world of Arkham Horror. It's a cooperative 1 to 4 player game that places you in a desperate fight for survival where the fate of the world hangs in the balance. The game is set on the campus of Arkham's Miskatonic University. And as the investigators, you arrive on the scene moments after a ritual intended to summon an Ancient One to Earth has been completed. It is up to you to then reverse that ritual before it's too late. In Final Hour, you and your friends have only 8 turns to uncover the clues necessary to prevent the Ancient One's arrival. All the while fighting off monsters intent on killing you and destroying the university. So clues take the form of these symbols that you will uncover over the course of the game. At the end of each turn, you can decide whether or not you want to try to reverse the ritual. The more symbols you've uncovered, the easier it will be to do that. The less, obviously, the more difficult. But by the end of the 8th turn, your backs will be against the wall, and you'll have to try to reverse the ritual regardless of how many clues you turned over. So, Final Hour provides the delightfully hectic, one step from disaster feel of like a late game Eldritch Horror. But you can play it easily in under an hour. Or much less if things go horribly wrong. This is entirely possible. All right, so we have a limited quantity of a Final Hour for sale here at the show. And of course, you can demo it here at our booth as well. So if you get the chance, please come by and check it out. We hope you like it. Final Hour will have its full retailer release later this fall. So now I'd like to talk a little bit about role-playing games.
Ooh.
Yeah, role-playing games. I love role-playing games. I think they're an amazing excuse to hang out with your friends, have a lot of fun, goof off, and play pretend for 4 to 5 hours. I've been into role-playing games my entire life. My first hobby board game, my first hobby game I ever owned was an old D&D box set. Not the red box that everybody knows, but the one before that, back in like the 80s, early 80s. I didn't have the reading comprehension skills at the time to actually play it, but I spent a lot of time looking at the art, and it started a lifelong love affair with the genre and just collecting books, which is what we do. So obviously, I could not be more proud of that I am of Genesis, our role-playing game for all settings. Genesis takes the core mechanics that were popularized by our Star Wars role-playing games and presents them in a way that greatly encourages creativity and imagination in both game masters and players. So since the release of the Genesis core rulebook, we've released 2 setting supplements. The Realms of Tyrnoth, which is the setting of our Descent, Journeys in the Dark board game, and Runebound, and Android, Shadow of the Beanstalk, which focuses on life in the megapolis of New Angeles. So tonight we have a new rules supplement to announce, the Genesis Expanded Player's Guide. This supplement contains more tools for game masters and players to create content for existing settings and for their own. It presents 3 new genres. So the core book of Genesis, we have a lot of sample genres for you to explore. This has new genres, classic horror, the post-apocalypse, and classic myth. And it also included our additional rules for vehicle and adversary creation, as well as helpful advice for creating your own setting, including a step-by-step guide to world building. The Genesis Expanded Player's Guide will be arriving later this year. So, sorry, I'm not giving enough time to applause. So the Expanded Player's Guide will also come with or will be released at the same time as a GM screen, which features a beautiful 3-panel blank screen, as you can see here. It's got this amazing green line going down the left side of the screen. Very proud of it. Yeah. How much are we going to give me for it? You got it.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, I know. Yes, exactly. This is simulating the experience of being the game master. Being completely in the dark, wondering what your players are going to do, terrified that they will ignore all of your preparation and go right and run to the left.
That's just funny.
Luckily, Genesis is good for that. If you play it, it actually makes that much easier. All right, well, so I feel like I should just keep going. Should I just keep going? Do you guys need pictures? Should I just keep rolling with it? We're gonna buy it anyway. Yeah! That's the spirit.
They said we're gonna buy it anyway.
Well, it's a really cool Game Master screen with beautiful artwork that is like fantastic by one of our veteran artists, Anders Spiener, who's done some amazing cover artwork for us. He did the latest like Arkham Horror, did the Genesis core rulebook. There's Ryan, He's got it solved. So you know what? I'm just going to keep going. So one other thing we're really excited about Genesis tonight is something called the Genesis Foundry, which is a platform for user-created content, player-created content posted on drivethrurpg.com. A lot of other companies do this. I'm excited to finally bring this to you guys because obviously Genesis is built upon empowering players and game masters to create their own stuff. So the content on drivethrurpg.com will be available starting tomorrow, which is pretty cool. We actually have a few people who worked in advance, so there will be stuff online immediately tomorrow for you guys to take a look at. And I'm really excited to see what the Genesis community comes up with and what they put out for you guys to download and play. Thank you. Thank you for rolling with that. I appreciate it. So one other thing, and we have a really cool graphic that shows this. So maybe we'll play it and it's like, ooh, that's cool. But one other thing I'm really excited about, the last Genesis thing before we move on, is we are currently working on a Genesis supplement for KeyForge.
Oh.
Yeah! So KeyForge has been an incredibly fun setting to work on. We're having really a ton of fun working on the book. It's nearing completion, and you'll be able to find out more about that early next year as we start the marketing leading up to the release. I think of like maybe Q2 of next year. All right. Should we just start talking about some Star Wars? You guys want to talk about Star Wars? Woo! All right. You know what? Let me ask, because you know, obviously talking about Star Wars is one thing, but seeing Star Wars.
Oh! Yeah.
There it is. All right.
Star Wars was the magic word.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy somewhere flipped the switch. All right, so there's our cool KeyForge graphic. Yeah, I'm really excited to dive into that world in great detail. It's going to be a lot of fun. All right, Star Wars. All right, so tonight we're going to focus on our Star Wars miniatures games. Starting with Star Wars Legion.
I'm going to keep it on the screen here.
So it sounds like most of you already know what Star Wars Legion is, but for those of you who don't, it's our tabletop miniatures game set in the Star Wars universe. It's been out for a little over a year, and it's been cool because it's not only found a home with miniatures gamers, but with Star Wars fans who previously really had no idea what classic like tabletop miniatures gaming was. So that's been super gratifying. And the Star Wars celebration was pretty awesome. I was really encouraged by what I saw there because we had a pick and take area at our booth. Did anyone go to Star Wars Celebration? Yeah, that's a cool show that I recommend. So we had a pick and take area at our booth, and it was really cool to see Star Wars fans of all ages just hanging out, playing miniatures, having a blast. So we were so happy with that we decided to do that here as well. So in the exhibition hall at our booth, you can come to our paint and take area. If you'd like a free Legion miniature, come, hang out, paint with us. Take one away with you. I'm going to take a look at the water here. It's talking more than I expected. All right. So Legion launched with two factions, obviously, the Empire and the Rebellion. And as you can see, there are already a ton of army building options for each. But here at Gencon, we're debuting two new factions, the Galactic Republic and the Separatists. Yeah. So these factions arrive with a new standalone core set that will be available for sale here at the show. Yeah. It was dicey for a minute, but they showed up, which is very exciting. All right, but that's not all. Over the course of the next year, the new factions will see a lot of army building options come their way. So let's take a look at those right now.
Let's see.
So early next year, we'll have Count Dooku and Clone Captain Rex. Yeah, so we arrived to join General Grievous and General Kenobi as commander options. I love that Kansuku, and the art on the packaging is fantastic. Both of these will be available Q1 of 2020. And they'll be followed shortly thereafter by Phase 2 Clone Troopers. These guys come with a bunch of new heavy weapons options, and they'll feature a wider range of customizability when you're actually building the miniature, which is something that you'll start to see more and more of as the years go on. And then we have the B2 Super Battle Droids, which gives the Separatists a harder hitting core unit. They're something a bit more survivable than the B1 battle droids that make up the bulk of the Separatist forces. You got it. These guys will also be available in Q1 of 2020.
Q1.
So one of the many great things of bringing Clone Wars to Star Wars Legion are all the awesome vehicles. And we have plans to bring a lot of them to the tabletop. Starting with the TX-130 Saber class fighter tank.
Ooh.
And the AAT Trade Federation battle tank.
Oh, look at the base. Look at the. Oh, this is huge.
These will also be available Q1 of 2020. So, animations. Here we go. All right, so obviously we'll continue to support the classic era as well. So in addition to new units and commanders that for the Rebellion of the Empire that will release over the course of the next few months, we have some other stuff to share. So I'm excited to share with you the Imperial Bunker. Yes, you may recognize that from Return of the Jedi. It is a highly detailed and customizable terrain piece. And it also comes with a scenario and a bunch of new battle cards. You can actually take two of those and kind of put them back to back and make a cool pillbox thing. Lots of little bits you can take out of there and move around.
Oh.
The Imperial Bunker will release later this year.
How much? 74. Yeah.
And in addition to that, we also have the Crashed Escape Pod Battlefield expansion.
Look, sir, droids.
Which comes with R2-D2 and C-3PO. This also comes with scenario and new battle cards, but R2 and 3PO, you can also field them either in the Rebellion or in your Republic army.
Oh, that's cool.
These guys will be coming in stores later this year as well.
This week we're.
All right. X-Wing!
X-Wing! Here it comes.
So it's already been a huge year for X-Wing. This spring, we released the Separatists and the Galactic Republic factions for X-Wing. And at Star Wars Celebration, at our panel, we announced the Epic Battles expansion, which allows for large-scale play and a bunch of new multiplayer formats. And we also announced that huge ships would finally be making their way to the second edition later this year. So now I'd like to share some additional X-Wing products that will be released later and early next year.
It sounded like you said huge ships.
First is the second edition version of the Houndstooth.
Ooh.
So Bosk's iconic starship now sports a new and improved paint scheme and will come with his Z95 headhunter, the Nashta Pup.
Oh.
Look for this winter.
It's nice. Ooh.
We also have ships from the Star Wars Resistance TV show making their way to the tabletop, which is exciting. The first is the Volatile Fireball, which has a great ability called Explosion with Wings. So I love that name. Which lets you discard and disarm tokens at a price. And also Major Von Rigg's custom tie interceptor.
Yes, that looks good.
Which is an incredibly little ship and is incredibly punishing to ships in its bullseye arc. Both are coming to stores this winter.
Oh.
So those of you who are involved in the X-Wing online community. Is anyone here chatting online about X-Wing?
Yep.
A couple? Maybe there's more watching the stream. You probably, there's people who have been reading about online some speculation about the next few products that I'm going to discuss. So hopefully you'll be excited about them. Card packs.
Yeah!
The first is Hot Shots and Aces, which includes several pilots for the game's original 5 factions.
That's good.
Next is Fully Loaded, which features upgrades that appeared in the Republic and Separatist ship expansions,
Oh, that's
now
so
available
good.
here separately. And Never Tell Me the Odds, which adds new punchboard obstacles and new scenario options to the
Oh,
game.
scenario. All right.
All these packs will be coming Q1 of 2020.
Oh, that's not bad, too, the price. That's pretty good.
So I'm sure someone in the chat and our live stream is saying, what about Armada? What about Armada?
Armada!
Yeah, let's talk about Armada. Yes. So last year at this event, we shared with you the most ambitious miniature we've ever developed. Well, I'm happy to announce that the long wait for the Superstar Destroyer is finally over. And it's available here at the show and at your favorite retailer tomorrow. Yay! But that's not all for Armada. So we teased a couple of things at our celebration panel, but now we can finally show them to you. First, for the Empire, the experimental Onager class Star Destroyer.
What?
Equipped with a prototype kyber crystal fueled weapon capable of doing massive amounts of damage.
Whoa.
And for the Rebel Alliance,
Whoa.
the Nadiri Starhawk,
Oh my god.
the massive Rebel battleship that was first featured in the Star Wars Aftermath trilogy of novels by Chuck Wendig.
Oh my god.
Both of these ships will arrive in stores this winter.
Oh my god. It's huge.
So if you want a closer look at any of the miniatures I've talked about here tonight, they'll all be in our glass case at the booth, so please
Oh,
come by
yes.
and check them out.
Oh my god.
All right. So let's keep things in outer space and talk about a little game called KeyForge.
Oh my god.
All right, so last year we announced KeyForge, the world's first and only unique deck game. Since then, we've released 2 sets called the Archons and Age of Ascension, and in that time, there have been over 1.1 million KeyForge decks registered on our Master Vault app. Seriously, this is a lot. That's a lot of decks. When we first introduced that feature, I was like, yeah, you know, maybe like 50,000, best case scenario, 1.1 million. It's crazy. So obviously, we're extremely thrilled with the reception that KeyForge has received. We hope that those of you who are playing it are enjoying it just as much as we are. Awesome. So starting tomorrow, we will have our 10th Vault Tour tournament taking place right here at Gencon. And you can watch it on FFG Live all weekend long. Hopefully everyone here is doing something else and having fun, or even playing the event on your own. So recently, Asmodee announced a new studio for gaming accessories, GameGenic. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce that GameGenic will be providing the first official accessories for KeyForge. Yeah. We're very excited about these products that GameGenic has designed. They are gorgeous. So let's take a look.
Oh, that's pretty. Oh, you can see the deck through. That's nice. Oh, those are pretty. afraid are going to send some viewers into seizures or something.
Johnny, I'm gonna come up.
Oh, that's pretty. I like it.
All right, so the deck book and the vault, which are the things on those videos there, are premium storage options. But GameGenic has a full range of products for KeyForge. Single deck storage with that come with cool house stickers that let you like put them on the face so that you can identify the decks that are inside. Logo sleeves, inner sleeves, and premium chain trackers. These are high quality, thoughtfully designed products, custom made for KeyForge. And everything you see here will be on sale in our booth. So if high quality card storage solutions are your thing, it might be your thing.
That's why.
It's not my thing. Please stop by our booth and check them out. You won't be disappointed.
I love containers.
And so, of course, the perfect pairing for your KeyForge deck boxes are KeyForge Archon decks. So tonight, I'm happy to announce the third set for KeyForge.
All right.
Worlds Collide. All right, Worlds Collide drastically alters the metagame by introducing two new houses to KeyForge. The Saurian Republic.
Oh, dinosaurs! Oh, you kidding me? Oh. My friend Sean is going to flip.
Yeah, you think this is cool? Erudite dinosaurs were one of the Crucible's oldest and most venerable societies. The Saurians are a force to be reckoned with, pairing tremendous might with unmatched strategic acumen. The second new house is the Grand Star Alliance.
Oh. Okay. Dinosaurs are better.
The Star Alliance are represented by the intrepid crew of the USS Quantum, who, through an unfortunate cosmic mishap, find themselves stranded on the surface of the Crucible. The Star Alliance's strength is in their diversity, with beings from several planets working together toward a common goal.
It's the Orville.
The Saurians and the Star Alliance will be replacing the Sanctum and Mars houses for this set.
Oh.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that those houses will be gone forever. With nearly every KeyForge set, the house mix will change. So we release KeyForge sets every spring and every fall, every May and every November. The houses that you're going to get in those sets will change. Sometimes there will be entirely new houses, and sometimes familiar houses will return. Worlds Collide adds over 250 new cards to the card pool,
Pretty big.
including some really fun surprises that we will reveal over the course of the next few months. Worlds Collide Archon decks arrive in stores this November. I know there's a general worry like Sanctum and Mars. What's going to happen? Don't worry, we have plans for both of them to come back. They're coming back. All right. So we're approaching the final stage of the presentation, and we have one more new game announcement to share with you tonight. Here it is.
I think this is going to be big. Marvel. Marvel! I'm thinking it's a card game. Oh.
Take down the building.
LCG.
That'd be great.
To talk about Marvel Champions, please welcome to the stage the visionary behind the cooperative LCG, co-designer of Marvel Champions,
No.
FFG executive game designer, Nate French.
Hello.
Hey, hello there.
I think this is where I get to say, I am Iron Man. And Black Sabbath is supposed to start playing. No? Oh, that's right, I'm supposed to do that at the end. This has been a very exciting project for me to have been a part of, and I'm happy to be here sharing it with all of you tonight. Marvel Champions is a 1-to-4 player cooperative LCG in which each of you will take on the role of a single Marvel hero working together with your friends to fight against a villain who's trying to complete an evil scheme. I was 1/3 of the design team for this game. I worked with Caleb Grace from our Lord of the Rings LCG and Michael Boggs from our Android Netrunner LCG. Each of them brought a lot of perspective and experience that's different than my own, and this made the design process a lot of fun, sometimes argumentative, but always just a joy to work with them. And tonight, I'd like to give you a peek into that process, some of the things we talked about and focused on as this game came into being, and along the way, highlight some of the things that I feel are the exciting features of this game. Ready to look inside that box? So at the start of a new design session, I like to try to identify some core themes that we can really focus on and guide the type of experience we're trying to create. For this game, I identified 4 such themes. The first of them is empowerment. This is an important concept in Marvel storytelling. So much of their storytelling is about characters coming into great power, but then having to deal with the responsibilities of that power, or the consequences of that power, or the unwanted attention that comes along with that power. And because of this, it was important that we created a game that left the players feeling empowered. Anytime the design, the feedback we were getting, or just our sense was that players weren't feeling that they were able to do enough to impact the game, we pull the design in the other direction and tried to create a game that was full of very high impact, powerful feeling moments. Second element is fast paced. Early on, we kind of stumbled into a catchphrase, which we came to inspired by the comics, that every turn is a new frame. So we really wanted to build a game with fast, punchy turns where you got in, did your thing, and then got out. So a lot of the core mechanics, such as how you draw your cards, some of the resourcing, were really designed in a way to make it work like this. Third element is humor. Marvel does a great job at weaving humor into their stories, and this keeps the tone light and fun, and we really tried to do the same thing in this game. So you'll notice as you start looking at the cards that a lot of the titles, the story text, the flavor text, even some of the abilities, there's humor woven in to keep the tone light. One example, I'm going to spoil a card here, there's a She-Hulk card in the game, and she has an ability that damages the villain. A lot of the abilities have titles. This ability is called Do You Even Lift? And a lot of our playtesters had a lot of fun with some of these moments in the game. Then the final core element is larger-than-life heroes. We realized right away that the heroes are the stars. They're the reason people are going to want to be playing this game, because they want to feel like they're one of these heroes. So it was important to build a game where they were the center of everything that was going on. So how did we do this? Well, there are 5 heroes in the core set that you can play as. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to tell you who they are yet. But unless some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents run out and pull me off the stage, I'm going to do that anyway. Yep. So our first hero is Iron Man.
I'm so
I need to ask you now, though, if you're playing as Iron Man, would you really have as much fun as you could possibly have if you weren't also playing as Tony Stark? So this brings us to what I think is probably, for me, the most exciting feature of this game, and it's this idea of alter egos. So many of these characters in the comics They have both their hero identity and the things they're trying to do as a hero, and they have to balance this with their real-world alter ego. And this you'll also find yourself doing in the game. The hero is on one side of the card, the alter ego is on the other, and as you play, you'll be moving back and forth between the two sides of your identity and trying to deal both with the challenges of the scenario, but also the obligations you have as your alter ego. So besides Tony Stark, who else is in this game? Oh, we have Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. Spider-Man, Peter Parker. She-Hulk,
Wolverine.
Jennifer Walters, and Black Panther,
Oh, nice.
T'Challa. This is the lineup for the core set. There'll be many, many more heroes coming out for this game. But before we get ahead of ourselves and look down the road, let's go a little bit deeper into what it's going to look like playing the game as one of these heroes. I mentioned before this idea that these heroes, we need them to be larger than life and feel like they're the center of everything that's going on. So how do we do that? Well, you start with your hero identity card, and then in addition to that card, every hero will come with a set of about 15 or so cards that are exclusive to that hero. These are the cards that make that hero who they are, and it would be kind of weird if another hero were using these cards. An example might be Spider-Man's Web Slinger. Another thing about these hero-specific cards is we kind of broke the rules a little bit with them. They push the power level a little bit farther than you might expect a normal card in a normal card game to do. These are the hero cards, and they're supposed to feel special. After the hero cards, another thing that identifies the character of these heroes is their nemesis. When a hero is going around saving the world or the galaxy, they encounter villains, and some particular villains have it in for an individual hero. So, anytime you're playing as a hero, like Spider-Man, your personal nemesis might show up in any scenario. It's not going to be everyone, but in some scenarios, the nemesis is going to show up. Enter into the game, their cards are going to get shuffled in the scenario, and then if you're Spider-Man and Vulture came after you, you'd have to deal both with the scenario and whatever Vulture is trying to do. So you have a hero chosen. What's the next step of putting your deck together? Well, you have aspects. These are the closest thing to classes or spheres that we have in the game. They're kind of different things that a hero can focus on, and there are 4 of them in the core set. The first aspect is leadership. This is for the hero who wants to inspire those around them and lead a team to victory. The second aspect is aggression. This is for the hero who wants to go directly at the villain and take him down and all the henchmen in combat. Third, we have protection. This is a hero that's going to put themselves in harm's way, keeping their friends and innocent bystanders safe. And then finally, we have justice. This is for the hero who is preoccupied with stopping the wrongdoing. The villain's trying to complete a scheme. The justice hero will be really strong at preventing that scheme from coming to completion. So the thing about these aspects is they're not tied to any one hero. You can play any hero with any aspect. And right out of the core set, there's customization rules, but you can also just pick a hero, pick the aspect, put them together, and then you've got a deck and you can go if you're not wanting to customize a deck. So you have this deck. What are you going to be playing against? That's where we're going to look next. You'll always be playing a scenario, and there are 3 scenarios in the core set. The first scenario, you'll be fighting against Rhino. He's going to be trying to break into a shield facility, and you've got to stop him. This is the introductory scenario. It's pretty straightforward. It's designed to teach the game. When you get done with it, you've maybe played a couple times and you're ready to move on. The second scenario, you'll be going against Claw. This one, the difficulty increases a little bit. You're going to have to think a little bit more to defeat Claw. He's not quite as straightforward as Rhino. Then the third and final scenario, which is the big showdown, is against Ultron and an army of killer robots. If you get through all 3 of these and still need more challenge, there's still a few other things in the course that the course set can do. It has 2 difficulty levels, standard and expert. There's an extra villain of each villain that's more challenging for expert mode, and then there is a set of cards that you can add to the encounter deck to up the difficulty. And then finally, there's this cool little thing, we call them modular encounter sets. There's 5 of them in the core set, and these are encounter sets that you can add to or take out of any scenario to change up the contents of that scenario. So it's going to be different from time to time you play. An example is the first time you play as Rhino, you'll be playing with the pre-built deck that has a bomb scare set of cards in it. Second time through, maybe you take the bomb scare out and you could add a set like the Madame Hydro set. And you'll be playing the scenario with different mix of enemies. That brings us to the end of our tour of the core set. If you're interested in this game, it will be coming out later this fall, but you can demo it in our booth all weekend.
All right. Everybody gets one. Look at the receipt.
This core set will be $59.95, and that is for a complete game for 1 to 4 players. This includes a full play set of all the cards.
Oh, nice. You don't have to buy 3 of them.
We've done a few things with the release plan for this game that are pretty exciting as well, and Andrew's going to come back out to share that with you.
So when is Marvel Legion with the miniatures coming out?
Thanks, Nate. So, as Nate mentioned, the core set will be available this October, but of course, as an LCG, that's only the beginning. So new products will arrive every month, and they're going to come in 1 of 3 varieties. The first are hero packs. Second, scenario packs. And third, campaign expansions. So hero packs feature a single hero and their nemesis, but not only do hero packs come with more cards for deck building, but each hero pack is also a pre-built, ready-to-play deck. So whether you're into deck building or not, you have it covered.
Good.
Scenario packs, just like they sound, standalone scenarios featuring classic Marvel Comics villains and a host of additional cards, cohorts, treacheries. And lastly, campaign boxes, which feature a series of interconnected scenarios, as well as powerful villains, iconic heroes, their nemesis, and additional side schemes. So let's take a look at the first few months of the game line. So after the core set comes out in October, November, we'll see the release of the Green Goblin scenario pack. That will be followed by the Captain America hero pack in December. Woo! Ms. Marvel, Kamala Khan in January. And the Wrecking Crew scenario pack in February. After that, we'll release several more hero packs leading up to the first campaign expansion that will come out mid-2020. So I hope you all have as much fun playing and exploring the Marvel Universe as we've had in designing it. It's been a lot of fun. As Nate mentioned, you can check it out at our booth, and we hope you like it. So, so that's almost all we have for you tonight. So in the tradition of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we thought we'd do something like a mid-credit scene, but we don't have credits. So consider this our post-in-flight report pre-Q&A scene. So please, welcome to the stage, head of studio for Atomic Mass Games, Will Schick.
Hey guys, how y'all doing tonight? I'll take it. Like, who's this guy? What weird income for this? There's a robot, it's weird. I promise, I think you'll enjoy what we have to show you guys. Thank you so much to Andrew and the FFG crew for letting us kind of crash their party. I've known Andrew for a lot of years, he's a really good friend. I've been a huge fan of FFG forever, and I've played a lot of their games. Andrew and I used to have a standing game every Gen Con, and he crushed me like unmercifully every time. So I feel like crashing his party now is kind of making up for that karmatically. So now we're even, I guess, and you can start beating me into a pulp again. I'm Will Schick. For those of you who don't know me, I have been working in the tabletop miniatures game industry for the last 11 years. And that is why I'm here for you tonight. The Atomic Mass Studio was formed last year. Will my clicker work? It will not work. Oh, there we go. Sweet. We were founded
works too
with
good.
basically one singular purpose, and I went too far. So, there you go. Perfect.
Oh, snap! Woo!
You didn't mess it up. You did great.
The best part is I can't go back. So, onward and forward. So really quick, before we dive into what we do at Atomic Mass, I want to talk a little bit about what we are. So Atomic Mass Games was founded basically with a singular purpose. Our purpose was to come together and bring the best creative talent that I've ever met in the industry to create amazing hobby miniatures games around and to create amazing hobby miniatures for those games. I started messing with hobby miniatures games when I was like 12 years old. And then some of my favorite memories are building scale model kits with my dad when I was 6. So I've been doing this forever. And I've made some amazing friends, and I have really just developed a passion and a love for the hobby and what it means and everything that it brings together. So the chance to get to work with an amazing crew and to get to work on an amazing project, which you weren't supposed to know yet, but now you do, has been a lifelong dream come true. One of the big things for me about the hobby and what has brought to me and the people at Atomic Math is our ethos is the game should be fun. And if they're not fun, then what's the point and what are we doing? So everything that we do is really focused on bringing home that enjoyment, that passion, and that love that has really shaped our lives and made us excited to be doing what we do and to bring it all to you. And I hope that as we move forward and you get to see what we have worked so hard and diligently to create, that it will bring the same kind of joy and excitement to you guys as well. So, with that said, this slide should appear. Thank you. So, we came together and we had the opportunity to have our first product be the Marvel Crisis Protocol miniatures tabletop game. Of course, it is set in the Marvel universe. And during the game, I'm going to mess this up again, I bet. One click.
You can do it!
One click. Maybe Evan can help me out and just click it for me backstage, because this clearly... Oh, there we go!
Oh,
I didn't do that.
that looks
great.
great.
Thank you, Evan. Yeah, just getting supported everywhere here. It's so beautiful. So in the game, it is a skirmish hobby miniatures game, so you actually form a team of heroes and villains. You can freely mix and match this game. We didn't want anybody to feel like they had to limit their selections. So you can choose anyone from across the Marvel Universe from your collection. You can assemble your own Marvel Dream Team. Once you've done that, you get to basically set forth and fight your opponents. You get to experience your own Marvel stories on top of the table. And the important part before we dive into the game that I want to talk about is, again, it's a miniatures game. And one of the things for us in Atomic Mass is that we are solely focused on miniatures themselves and the miniatures hobby. So we wanted to make sure that these miniatures effectively came together and created the best hobby experience we could. And we've had experience with many different materials, many different styles. And we did a lot of research and work on what would perform best, what would make the game most accessible, what would make our vision for these amazing characters come to life on the tabletop and on people's shelves and just be a joy to paint. In the end, there was really only one option. Will you click? No. Evan, you want to give me a hand again? Thanks, bud. You're the best.
Ooh,
and that was to do these kits in hard plastic. So all of our miniatures are hard plastic, which you'll be familiar with if you've seen some of the other companies out there. There's a lot of different options. But in the end, hard plastic basically provides, in our opinion, the best overall experience for the hobbyist. It has the highest detail resolution. Its rigidity and strength allow for an ease of assembly that is basically unmatched. And in addition, the really big thing that we're excited about is what it allows us to do when it comes to the posing and the dynamic sculpting that we can get away with in that material. So we've been just loving it, and it has brought some amazing poses, some amazing characters to life, and I think we've only scratched the surface on what's possible, and we're very excited for you guys to see how the line evolves and how we keep pushing forward and pushing the envelope to make it even more and more dynamic and exciting. So now we've talked about the important bit with the miniatures, and I think I should have told Evan to click some more because there are more slides that show you some of the stuff. Evan, you want to just give me a couple clicks there? There we go. So one of the characters that you'll be seeing in the initial launch is Black Widow. We can click to the next one because I was supposed to kind of click a bunch, but it didn't want to work. Spider-Man, amazing character and a lot of fun. And then the last one I think on here is Captain Marvel. Yes, it is. Perfect.
She looks great.
So yeah, so you can see kind of how the poses come to life, the characters go together, and the kits in general. So now we've looked at the miniatures which form the heart and soul of the game. Let's talk a little bit about the game design. Yes, Evan, you're just getting better and better. We have a connection, my friend. So we're first given the opportunity to design this new miniatures game in the Marvel Universe. Basically, I knew from years of reading comics and loving them, as well as several of the guys in the studio as well. We had to capture that kinetic, that awe-inspiring, that epic spectacle of superpowered combat. And getting that right was going to be the cornerstone of everything else that we did in the game itself. Playing these characters needed to feel like you were in control of extraordinary individuals. We needed to see Hulk throwing a building, Iron Man unleashing a unibeam in a last-ditch effort to try to save the day, or Red Skull literally warping reality with the Cosmic Cube as he cackled assured of his ultimate victory. These were the things that we needed players to see on the table happen as they moved their miniatures and rolled dice and laughed at their opponent and told their own stories in the Marvel Universe. So we developed a special resource management system that we called Power to simulate this high-intensity back-and-forth ebb and flow of battle, where once you're on the ropes, you can come back in spectacular fashion and perform some of the most amazing feats possible, because that's when we know that all of these characters do their best work. Characters can earn power throughout the game by performing attacks, by taking damage, and from other certain effects. You then get to spend your power to activate superpowers, such as Captain Marvel's binary form, Black Widow's counter-strike, Baron Zemo's charge. You can also spend superpowers to activate superpowers. Every character has a unique suite of abilities called superpowers that they can use that have varying effects. And then last but not least, you can also use that power to activate your most powerful attacks. So unibeams, all kinds of devastating, awesome effects. Captain America's shield slam. So many cool moments where you hit so much harder and have devastating effects after you've been put on the ropes by your opponent. The last thing that characters can do is they can combine their power together to play what we call team tactic cards. These are once per game events that you get to choose when selecting your force. When you play these, like the name says, they have your characters team up. They spend power together to achieve results that they can't do on their own. Things like a 1-2 punch effect that increases the strength of an attack, or Thor picking up Black Widow and dropping her off next to a strategic location that's super important. All of these things come together to create an exciting and kinetic experience that we think really captures the idea behind the tabletop and the game. Another thing that we really wanted to impact was to make sure that, well, combat was important, and it is the most exciting and fun thing in the game. It wasn't a game about fighting for fighting's sake. That's never been what Marvel Comics have been about. Marvel Comics have always been about amazing stories and really compelling characters interacting with these different events in their lives. How do we save the world from different threats? What is happening around them is more important, actually, than the fights themselves. And we wanted to make sure that this game had that in it, that you weren't simply fighting over some nondescript hill or some random flag and just scoring points that meant really nothing in the general scheme of things. We wanted to make sure that everything that you did was narrative, that it told the story, that it put you in the panels and the pages of the comic book that you and your friends were building together. And if I sound really excited about this, because I am. This is a very passionate project for us, and it's something that means a lot. And I hope that once you get a chance to try it out, which you'll get to do tomorrow and over the weekend, because we will be demoing the game here, that you'll find this same sense of story and fun in the game itself. In this way, every objective that you fight over has an impact on the battlefield. When you fight over cosmic cubes, they grant the people who hold those cube fragments power, but at a terrible cost. When you go and hold an extremist console to prevent your opponents from capturing it, you can heal your characters from damage, making these things interact and help tell the story that is happening on the table. The other big thing for us is that when it comes to Marvel, it's very hard to choose. There are so many great characters, there are so many amazing storylines, there are so many amazing things that it was important that we not try to factionalize or bucket these amazing characters. We've seen team-ups across the Marvel Universe that have been far and wide and crazy and unexpected, and that's part of the fun and the enjoyment. So what we did is we created a very unique and interesting dynamics mode in terms of how you build an army and how you create a mission. The way that you do that is you're going to pick 10 characters from your collection. These can be any characters that you like. You can have Cap and Red Skull go together on a team because it's a last-ditch effort to fight it out. Once you have your 10 characters, you then also choose crisis cards, which you saw on the last slide. Those crisis cards are half of the mission. Each player chooses one half of the mission secretly at the start of the game. You reveal those together, and those two things form a full mission. You do this all before you've actually even chosen the squad that you're going to use in the game. So the things you go into, you have a limited set of knowledge. You know what your 10 characters are, you know what your half of the mission is going to be, and then once all of that is established, you look at it and you choose a squad based on these parameters, based on these things from your 10 characters. So you have basically deck building right there, army construction immediately with what's in front of you. This allows you to try different tactics to play against your opponent or to simply play the things you like. Of course, the epic team-ups of Marvel Comics and in our game are just as important, but also important are those affiliations that we all know and love, the Avengers, the Cabal, the Guardians of the Galaxy. You can also use these affiliations when you construct your squad, which allows you to unlock certain soft benefits that let you feel like you're playing these characters. But it was important that those things didn't override the ability to choose freely what you wanted to play. The last but not least, and my favorite thing about the game, is that we developed a terrain system that doesn't just use the terrain in a normal tabletop way as set dressing and as things to block line of sight, but instead we created terrain that you interact with throughout the game. You literally get to pick it up and throw it at your opponent. They're miniatures, not them. Sorry, I should make that more clear. Please don't throw things at your friends. It's not a good way to keep friends. However, you do get to interact with the tabletop in a spectacular and exciting fashion. Hulk literally can pick up the Daily Bugle and smash it into Red Skull and show him that it's probably not smart to laugh when you're fighting the Hulk. He doesn't like it. It makes him very angry. So as the game progresses, the tabletop also evolves. The story there changes as well as things are destroyed, torn apart, thrown, and just dismembered in crazy and spectacular fashion. And of course, I could go on and on about this, but like I said before, I think it's better if you just go experience it yourself. So check us out. We're booth 1105, and you can take a demo of the game and try it out for yourselves and see what we've done. And I think that you'll really enjoy it. And hopefully you have as much fun with it as we've had making it. So let's talk a little bit about the product itself. So the game's going to launch this fall with a core set. This is going to be the perfect starting point for you to dive into Crisis Protocol. It gives you everything that you need to form your first team. Or you can also split those contents and start to play games with your friends right away. And the game and the core set is designed to introduce you into the core mechanics of the game and to let you experience everything as you start to learn and then expand outward. The core set contains iconic characters: Captain America, Iron Man, Red Skull, Baron Zemo, Spider-Man. We tried to get all of the fan favorites in there and keep a few surprises for later on. In addition to the core set, miniatures for the characters, you're also going to get terrain. Because like I said, terrain is so important in this game that we wanted to make sure you had a table that was stocked and ready to go. So that last slide that showed all the terrain, that's all the stuff you're going to get in the core set. You're going to get 2 cars, you're going to get 2 dumpsters, you're going to get a bunch of lampposts and traffic lights and a Daily Bugle and dumpsters. Everything that you need to set your stage for your epic city showdown right away and start throwing things in your opponent's face. Because let's be honest, that's why we bought the ticket. Alongside the core set, we're also going to release character packs. The first 2 that come out are Hulk and MODOK. These character packs introduce, of course, the new characters that can be added to your collection and your teams. They also introduce new tactic cards, team tactic cards that you can use during your games. And they also introduce new scenario cards or crisis cards that you can use to build new missions. So they help expand and evolve your collection and allow you to tell new stories and to have a ton more fun with the characters that you already have. Every month after that, we're going to continue to expand new character packs. This is what Atomic Mass does, and this is our primary focus. So we know how important it is to support these games and to keep a continuous stream of new stuff coming to continue to enhance the play environment. And so the following month, post-launch, we'll see the arrival of some of my favorite characters. I think it's the next slide, if everyone wants to do me a solid. Sweet, there we go. So we're going to be bringing the Black Panther, Killmonger, Shuri, Okoye, and Spider-Man's best frenemy, Venom, into the game. Following that, we're going to see the arrival of the Asgardians, including Thor and Loki, the appearance of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and the dreaded Black Order, led by Corvus Glaive and his wife, Proxima Midnight.
Oh, yeah.
We're also going to continue to expand terrain offerings for the game throughout the year. The Marvel Universe is a vast and exciting place, and we have plans to create terrain for many of those. We will be planning to do Wakanda, Hell's Kitchen, and even places beyond Earth like Nowhere and the Dark Dimension.
Wow.
We'll also be releasing new modes of play. This is another really important thing in our mind. It's great to sit down and test your strategy and tactics against your friend in a one-on-one game, but we want to take the game even further. We want to offer as much different modes of play as possible that allow you to tell the stories that you want to tell and have the fun with your friends that you want to have. So we'll be releasing raids next year. This is where two players team up and try to tackle a super powerful, awesome boss controlled by their other friend, who's probably not going to be their friend for that hour and a half that they play.
3 players.
These awesome no-holds-barred multiplayer battles allow you to see if you can save the universe from the most epic of bosses, or if you can crush the attempts of those foolish enough to try to stop you. Additionally, there are going to be narrative campaign sets that we're planning for the future that will allow you to team up with all of your friends and tell long-standing stories where every game is connected and you can evolve and advance the storyline and potentially your squad going forward. So we want to make sure that there's all kinds of different avenues for people to enjoy Marvel and the Marvel Miniatures game. The last thing that's really important that I want to talk about is our plans for organized play. So like I said, I've been doing miniatures for a long time, both in the industry and without, as a player. And one of the biggest things that we know is important is robust and exciting organized play in the store. So we're going to launch with a very exciting, I think, organized play program. Organized play is going to include things like single-day events as well as multi-week leagues that you can run. They're going to have unique prize support, exclusives that you can't get anywhere else. That will help alternate art cards, acrylic tokens, things like that. That just enhance the flavor of your game and give you a little bit of exciting bling to throw on the table. However, one of the things I want to talk about with organized play is our philosophy and approach to organized play, especially in the store. For us, again, like I said, our ethos is that everything should be fun. We're looking to get together and enjoy the social act of playing games with each other and telling our stories with amazing miniatures on a dynamic tabletop. In that vein, we've decided that what we've done is called our organized play focused. This means that there are no awards for first place. There are no tournaments where you fight your way to the top and one person wins and a bunch of people walk home thinking I'll do better next time. In play-focused organized play, everybody walks away with awards simply from playing games. The goal is to go in and have fun and enjoy the hobby together. This is everything that we think helps build and generate robust communities. And this will be kind of the thrust of our in-store play. So you'll never have, we have single-day events that run kind of like tournaments, but that are not tournaments because there is no winner at the end. And they give everybody the same awards as long as you come in hobby together and play together. Of course, it is not going to be a hobby miniatures game without painting. Painting the miniatures and making your own renditions of these amazing characters is, to me, and I hope all of you, one of the most exciting aspects of this game. And to that vein, we're going to be doing a whole bunch of stuff with the hobby. We're going to have regular online challenges and competitions where you can show your hobby skills and see if you can tackle certain challenges that we throw out through our Instagram and social media. We're also going to be, of course, hosting higher level convention painting competitions where people can come and show off their best hobby skills and see if they can claim the title of worthy and show the world their artistic skills as well.
Wow.
Let's see. And then last but not least, for those of you who do enjoy challenge and a test of your mettle in a highly intense environment to see who can come out on top. We will be introducing competitive play at conventions later next year. So if that is something that you want to come out and try and test your might, we will have that as well. All right, so I think with that, I've wrapped up everything, and technical glitches aside, here we are. Boosh, there we go. That's amazing. So thank you very much, guys, for being part of this work. I look forward to seeing you all at the booth with the other podcast chapters tomorrow. And please come by, chat us up, ask us about the game. We also have an amazing selection of the miniatures that are forthcoming that will be in the case. Plenty more than I think what you saw in the slides tonight. So it should be a lot of fun. And then, of course, be sure to check out our website and social media. Sign up, get involved, because we're going to be doing a ton of cool stuff on there. Addition to starting live streams and things like that in the coming weeks. So it's a great place to get connected, learn who we are, and find out more about the game. So thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. Hope you all have a wonderful Gencon.
All right, that is actually it. Thank you all for coming out tonight again. It was great hanging out with you. For those of you watching on the live stream, we're going to be turning the live stream off for about 20-ish minutes or so. We'll be doing our Q&A, but then we'll be coming back with some in-depth look.
Oh, I'm going to keep mine going.
In-depth look at Arkham Horror Final Hour and Marvel Champions. So stay tuned. Keep that browser window open. For everyone else here, we'll be doing some Q&A. So I think we're going to have like a microphone. So there's the mic stand. We'll get the mic stand out there and have some people, you guys, if you have any questions, just get up and line up behind it. Yeah, and if you want to stick around for some Q&A, thank you a lot for coming out. Appreciate it. Have a great night. I think so. Put it right there, Alex.
Test. Can I ask multiple questions?
Yeah.
Two? Okay, so I have a kind of a two-part question. First one, my name is Crabbok. I do YouTube and I cover all your Star Wars games. Thank you for the Super Star Destroyer. I got one from San Diego Comic-Con. It was amazing. It's the greatest thing ever.
Awesome.
With the lessons learned from some of the delays for making a huge ship like that, what impact does that have on your ability to maybe do more huge ships? Like, is that something that you guys are still considering, or can you talk about that?
Well, I mean, we don't have any plans to do anything as large as Super Star Destroyer. Obviously, that's like the most iconic thing, and it's very expensive to make and purchase. So, we don't have any plans to do anything that big, but the Starhawk, the Nidiri Starhawk, is also very, very large.
Oh, it looks great.
So really, the biggest thing we learned from that is that, tooling takes a long time.
Yes, I did.
And at the factory, they only have so many tooling machines. And if you have too many tools, then it can take a very long time. So.
And the second part, I won't too much, is last year I was up here and first thing I asked you was Armada Clone Wars, which you guys have announced that you're working on, and that's awesome. I want to thank you for that as well.
Yeah.
But we didn't hear, I know it's probably not ready, I don't know, because you didn't mention it, but is there anything you can tell us, like what direction is it going to take?
Yes, I can tell you a little bit about it. So the Clone Wars stuff for Armada, we're targeting the end of 2020. But obviously, when we announced the Super Star Destroyer, we're like, yeah, that thing's coming out in February, and now it's August. So it's so I just want to make sure that we have all of our ducks in a row before we really talk about the exact release date.
Okay, well, wonderful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hi.
Hi. First off, thank you for all the wonderful games you make. My husband and I are huge fans of quite a few of them. All of them, really.
Oh, that was my question.
I have a question about Journeys into Middle-earth.
Yeah.
Do you have a plan to release any of the iconic female characters, like Arwen, Eowyn, or Galadriel in the future?
Possibly.
Thank you very much again for everything you do.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Hi there. Hi.
I just wanted to ask if you could comment on a couple of things. First is Twilight Imperium, possible campaign setting for Genesis, maybe?
So we have a list of like all of our, so obviously we're working through our IPs. And
Okay.
it's, it's on the list. So it's just a question of when we get to it. Our RPG team is pretty small.
Okay.
But yeah, it's definitely in the queue. It's just I'm not sure exactly when it'll happen.
Okay, and Lord of the Rings, the living card game, is that going to be completed after Shadow's cycle is done?
So we'll have more to say about Lord of the Rings and the future of that
Okay.
next year.
Okay, and the last thing I wanted to say, is there any possibility we get an Armada-style campaign box for Legion so we can do some Legion campaigning?
Well, we'll see.
All right.
Thank you.
Hi, thanks for everything you guys do. Just love everything. But nothing about L5R tonight, so I was wondering, is there any, like last year you guys gave us the release schedule and all we've gotten is the Crab Pack, so anything you can share?
Yeah, so I mean, we have, so through all of 2020, we have releases pretty much every month. So for, the third cycle, we've gone back to like a pack a month. Yeah, we'll have more stuff, coming out throughout all of next year. Like I mentioned at the top, we're not talking quite about everything in the presentation, but we do have more for L5R, not only for the card game, but for the RPG as well.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Hey there, big fan. Great announcements tonight. Just a couple things, probably a total long shot. Can you, and I'll judge based solely on your inflection, so you don't have to say yes or no. Any possible, maybe, announcements for a TI4, especially some more Galaxy tiles, anything like that?
Like tonight?
No, just, is anything being cooked up? Is anything, or is TI4 just kind of a standalone product until TI5 in 10 years?
TI4 is a standalone product.
Well, sure, that's fair.
But, no, I'm not ready to talk about that tonight.
Sure.
But
Thank
yeah,
you.
It was a long shot. It was a good question.
I had to ask.
Good question.
Hi, I was just wondering if you had anything prepared to discuss the future of Game of Thrones LCG?
No, so stay tuned for that as well. So we'll be talking more about like the future of Game of Thrones soon.
Thank you.
On the website, yep.
Hi, forgive me if this takes me a minute to get to the point of this question, but recently you've been offering pre-order incentives, free shipping for products that can be obtained in local stores.
Mm-hmm.
What's the thought process around that? Because you're basically competing with local gaming stores and giving me incentive to buy directly rather than through my local retailer.
So we're the creative studio, and there is a other side of the business that is the distribution side. And if you have any questions about the details about how you feel like that might impact retailer sales or anything, or how just your feelings on it, you can talk to those guys. I'm sitting right there next to you.
Oh, he threw you under the bus.
I'm not throwing you under the bus. I just can't answer that question.
I have perhaps a longer shot than was just asked. Can you offer any words that might encourage my friend to hold on to his Rune Wars miniatures?
It's an awesome game.
Well, yes, but
play the game.
but the two of us are the only ones who play it around.
Yeah,
so, is there anything that you can think of that might coming in sometime in the future that might?
Yeah, unfortunately, Rune Wars is a complete game at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not developing it anymore. But
Got
thank
it.
you for buying and playing it.
Thank
and
you.
Support. I appreciate it.
Hi.
Hi.
I think I have questions you can actually answer. So my first question is, I'm curious what the relationship between Atomic Mass games and Fantasy Flight is. And then second, I'm curious what the scale of the miniatures are for the Marvel game.
Sure. So the relationship is, I know Andrew, and we're both attached to Asmodee, and that's about where it ends. So we're an independent studio. We formed in Seattle, by ourselves. But as far as the scale, it's 40 mil. So a 6 foot human is approximately 40 millimeters tall. So we wanted to go with a slightly larger than average scale. 32 mil is kind of a very standard proportion these days, but because these characters are so over the top, awesome, impressive, and we really wanted to get that character detail in there, we really wanted to push the bounds of that. So everything's kind of about 8 mil bigger than standard, I guess, if like you compare them to other things.
Cool. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, how y'all doing?
All right, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Any future plans for Star Wars Rebellion or Outer Rim?
Sorry.
So Star Wars Rebellion at this time I feel like is pretty good where it is, but obviously Outer Rim just released, and if you played it, obviously you can tell it is something that is designed with lots of expansion possibilities. So now we're just waiting to see, how well it does, and if it does well, then I reckon there might be an expansion.
Thank you.
All right, I'm doing. So I'm a big fan of KeyForge. I'm really excited about the new expansion.
I'm gonna have to wrap it up here in a minute.
So I do a lot of organizing with our KeyForge community in Louisville, Kentucky. I help bring a lot of stores together and players together, and just keep things going around a league and everything.
Oh, there was a lot of big reveals. You'll have to rewatch.
Looking for more info on is does the FFG have any ideas to kind of work more with community organizers outside of like the shops? Because I've been playing FFG LCG since 2013, starting with Netrunner and a whole bunch of other ones. And my experience has been a lot of the players who really push the games.
I'm gonna wrap it up now.
Communities grow, but there's a lot less
But yeah, there'll be more content coming.
Because the shops get a lot of the benefits. So I don't know if there was any program for that. And then
I'm sorry,
on
I
top of that,
gotta
KeyForge,
talk to more
there was
devs, and I've got
mentions
to go pick up my
early on in the
badge
year, one of
while
the
I still have
casts
time.
about doing teams and other community type of things. Like, I don't know if it's a league or whatever, but I didn't know if other things were in the works for organized play and KeyForge communities.
Sure, so our director of organized play is here somewhere, maybe he's in the other room. If you can find him, Alex Black.
All right, I'll keep it going for a minute, Amar.
Obviously, talking about encouraging the community.
You guys talked me into it.
Incentivizing the fans who drive a lot of that, like, organization, to me sounds great. And we'll have more to say about, like, the future of FFG organized play in the years, in the year to come. The last couple of years, frankly, hasn't been great. So we're trying to make things better. And I think a lot of what you said there really kind of hit the nail on the head. Sure. So so we actually we recognize that. I recognize that, and we're working to make it better. But yeah, if you please feel free to reach out to OP.
Sure, I would love to talk to him because I've been playing stuff with VL for years, and we've got a lot of ideas locally that we would like to see work on. So.
Yeah. So please feel free to reach out through email or through a forum, and let them know how you feel.
Okay, thank you. Sounds
Yeah.
great.
Good question.
Hey, good evening.
Hi.
Now with Legion getting a second set of factions with Clone Wars, and we're starting to see a lot of meta where the same units are being used in Imperials and Rebels. Is there any chance that we'll be getting an app where we can maybe get some point variation for some of the units that aren't getting used, similar to what we saw in X-Wing?
So we're not going to do another app. That X-Wing app is very difficult to make and very expensive to maintain. But we're going to take the same approach with Legion that we've done with pretty much all of our competitive games, where if we need to make balance decisions and change point costs accordingly, we will. So
If there's only like 2 people left in line to ask questions, and that'll be
the
it.
development team and the OP team pays a lot of attention to that kind of thing.
Or
So
maybe
if they
3.
feel like there actually is something that needs to be addressed, they'll absolutely address it.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Good evening.
Hi.
The screen may have cut out if there was in fact a slide, but that beautiful GM screen, wasn't any mention as far as a price point or a release time? Do you guys have that at that time?
Yeah, so it's releasing the same time as the expanded player's guide.
Okay.
And I think it's $19.95.
$14.95.
I think.
Perfect. Thank you much.
Yeah. All right, last question.
Hi there.
Hi.
Big fan of your Star Wars products. Do you have anything that you can talk about for Imperial Assault, specifically physical product?
No, actually, we talked about that at our Star Wars Celebration panel. So at present, we're currently not developing any physical products for Imperial Assault.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Log on for the Q&A.
All right, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
I'll see you around. Make sure to say hi.
I am gonna, let's see. Can I take you guys with me? All right, I'm gonna take you guys with me. We're gonna go talk about. So if you just joined towards the end, lots of stuff. X-Wing Wave 6. We're getting the Fireball and the Red Interceptor, and so that, and then some reprints. And we're also getting the Starhawk for Armada. We are also getting the Onager Star Destroyer, which is awesome. And I'm gonna see if I can give Andrew Navarro some lightsaber nunchucks. Dio, what's up, man?
About the 7-minute mark. I remember the video because I forwarded it to a couple people. I'm like, watch the video. It was awesome. I know, I loved it. I was like, I love it.
But that's it. And Marvel games too. Crazy stuff. Thanks, guys.